Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Now I want to talk about the first presidential debate for a moment. Remember it? I do, because it was pretty bad. The fact that MSNBC's Lester Holt came out and only asked Hillary Clinton 2 questions and Trump 15 questions. The media attacked him for days after that, but for some reason, Teflon Don was still able to sit there and remain ahead in the polls. Now, right immediately after the debate, Trump led in 90% of the polls, and still to this day, here we are, a week later, Trump is still ahead over Clinton in key battleground states as well. Now, some of the things that we need to look at for this next presidential debate. Sadly, it looks like the CIA will be running the second presidential debate. Why? Because CNN's own Anderson Cooper, who works for the Clinton News Network, will be moderating alongside Martha Raddatz of ABC. These two will be co-hosting and moderating this next presidential debate. And they're also going to be taking questions from Facebook, who lots of times censors any kind of conservative trends that are happening on there as well. And we're supposed to be getting questions from Facebook to ask these presidential candidates that I'm pretty sure are going to be biased, leaning more towards helping Hillary and leaning more towards defeating Donald Trump. Now, let's talk about Anderson Cooper for a second. Anderson Cooper interned for 2 summers at the CIA. Now, we know that the CIA started a program, a secret campaign, back in the 1950s called Operation Mockingbird. The organization recruited leading American journalists into a propaganda network to help present the CIA's views. Now, we know that a lot of people are scared of Donald Trump, a presidency that could get rid of a lot of elites, a lot of people that have a lot of money invested in Hillary Clinton, and she has a lot of money invested in them as well. Now, a lot of people were very disappointed in how Donald Trump came out in that first debate against Hillary Clinton. A lot of people thought that he was too soft, that he didn't come at her hard about enough topics, about Bill Clinton's affairs, about so many other topics that are out there that we could go on, Benghazi, the email scandal. You know, I think there's a strategy that Trump is following. Now, I have a lot of buddies who are Green Berets who went through the Special Forces selection. And in that, you have to have 3 PT tests. Now, if you come into that first PT test and you give it everything you have, there's a good chance that after you start going through selection, that you're running a lot, you're ruck marching, your PT scores are going to decline. And by the time you get to that 3rd one, you're going to start off here and end up here. And that's not what people want to see, because they're going to remember you by the last thing you've done. And that's what happens in selection. Now, we have 3 presidential debates that Trump has to go through to defeat Hillary Clinton. Now, the first one, he came out very moderate, very presidential, didn't attack too hard, and that's good. We need him to do that on the first one. The second one, he needs to step up his game a little bit, and by the time he gets to that 3rd presidential debate, it should be the shock and awe campaign. He should be hitting her from every side about every single scandal that she's been involved in, along with her husband as well, and the money that they've given to people who have helped oppress other people. Now, she claims to be this champion of the LGBT community and for women's rights, but she gives money to people in Saudi Arabia and takes money from them as well, where they openly behead homosexuals, throw them off bridges, and you can have a wife can have her head chopped off by her husband without having any kind of facts or any due process for a reason why. He could just say that she cheated on him, boom, drag her out of the car, chop her head off, and the police will do nothing for it. That's the kind of women's rights that she's fighting for. That's the kind of LGBTQ rights that she's fighting for when, after the Paris attack or after the Pulse nightclub attack, she brings in the father of the man who killed all the people at the gay nightclub and has him sitting right behind her in the debate. Makes no sense whatsoever. But she seems to be their champion, and everyone still wants to go out and vote for her. So this is what I want to say to Donald Trump. You started off the right way. You need to come out a little bit harder on the second one. And on the 3rd one, it needs to be a shock and awe campaign. And hit her on every single scandal, because the last debate is the only debate that people will remember in history. And that's going to be the debate where you can take America back and make it great again. This has been Joe Biggs with Infowars.com.
Brain Force is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more crazed, more focused, less brain fog, more energy, more special reports, and it's because of Brain Force.
One of the worst things with most energy products is it's not sustainable, right? You're gonna crash and gonna feel really bad afterwards. This has a bunch of different antioxidants and compounds and polyphenols.
Everybody's on these drugs to knock their brain out because the brain's so fried.
We kept changing this formula over and over and over again until it became sort of a grand puzzle. For example, the L-theanine inside of it, that is activated by the different compounds in the yerba mate that we put inside of it as well. This just increases the compounds you already have.
This is what you're actually designed to run on.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a car will run on one form of junkie gas, but it runs really good on what it's designed for. You will find Brain Force, Survival Shield X2, and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.